Welcome to the Business Vitality Podcast. My name is Catherine Cantey. I am the host and an executive coach. I work with teams, individuals, and leaders to help create measured leadership change. We do that using practical applications, and our clients are creating 100% measured results as seen by those around them. Not necessarily what I think or what they think, but what the other people are seeing. And they are being recognized for the hard work that they're doing. If you're interested in learning more about some of the work that we're doing, you can learn more at catherinecantey.com. I would love for you to subscribe to this show, to Business Vitality. This is my way to continue to pay it forward and share business best practices. Stay tuned and listen to the interview. Thanks for being here. Ashley Connell, you are the founder and CEO of Prowess Project, found on the web at prowessproject.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, I am pumped. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, this is going to be very disruptive, and I love bringing new ideas to my favorite CEOs and my favorite leadership partners that are out there that I have worked with for over 2 decades. And if they know me and they know anything about my background, which they all do, they know I love to challenge the way things are being done in a very respectful manner. But how can we think about business in a new way? And I think what you are doing could really create a lot of benefit to them. And it may be a benefit that they haven't considered yet, or they thought about it and they were like, not doing that, Catherine. Like, that's just going to be a box of like worms that we're not going to deal with. So you have amazing success and track record of the work that you're doing. It is extremely relevant and vital to what businesses are doing today. This is impacting big corporations. This is impacting top leadership teams. So as we dig into this, my first question to you, Ashley, is can you tell me at a high level, what are you doing with Prowess Project?
Absolutely. And yes, buckle up, everyone. So high level, we vet and certify women who took time off of the workforce to be caregivers. So most of the time, no, all of the time, these women are educated and experienced, took 2-3 years out to take care of their kids and want to return, but all they can get are free internships. So we take them, like I said, train them up, and then we have a platform where we invite CEOs and employers to come onto our platform to hire, and we match based on not just the skills needed and the expertise needed, but also communication style, work style. So we are de-risking on both sides.
Okay, so you have a goal, and I think it's a very obtainable goal. What is your goal of getting these caregivers back into the workforce?
Our goal is to get 5,000 in the workforce in the next 3 years. We've already gotten 1,000, so I definitely think it's possible.
Yeah, I think educating people about how this works and what like that new future work looks like. We just
100%.
came out of COVID. We understand that we can work hybrid. We understand that we need to get a little creative, nothing like a good crisis to figure out how we're going to navigate going forward. I mean, this is all the stuff that has been like slowly percolating in the corporate world of, no, you cannot work remote. No, you need to be, as we said earlier, butts in the seats. And that's what we're paying you for. And sure enough, the entire world shut down, and businesses that are going to continue to remain vital month after month, year after year, decade after decade, are getting real creative about how do we respond to the change in this workforce. So you have some interesting stats. I would love to hear the stats from you as far as you talked about 43% of the caregivers and are transitioned out, and then give me some stats if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. Well, obviously there is a huge pressure on women specifically of, can I be both a mom and a career woman? And oftentimes they realize, or they don't want to do both. So 43% of educated, experienced women leave the workforce to take care of their children at some point in their career. When they're out for just 3 years, they lose a total of 37% of their compensation power forever. Forever. Cannot make it up. And yet, 97% of them would return to work if they had a flexible solution, if it wasn't that butts in seats, that 9 to 5, if they could work on their time so that they could do both be a parent and also a career woman.
Okay, the stats I think are pretty shocking. People are looking to maximize what they're investing in their employees. They're looking to maximize that return on investment. And I was sharing an example of one CEO before, and this particular CEO was hiring for a position. It wasn't getting filled. It had full benefits, full everything you need. So they looked at it a different way, and they said, I could hire 2 part-time people. And they're splitting the hours. I don't have to do full benefits. I trust these people. They have a proven track record. And now they're coming in, and I'm not getting 1 + 1 = 2. I'm getting 1 + 1 = 3 because I looked at this differently.
100%. So that's technically called a job share. And we are seeing that pop up everywhere. But also, when you think about it, I mean, how much of the day is lost? So if you get someone who comes in at 60%, and especially, and I can speak to our audience, right? These are moms who are so grateful that they are getting a flexible schedule, that every single second of their time, you're getting incredible output. You're getting incredible results. You're getting incredible impact to your business because they're so grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, it's mutually beneficial. The company gets benefits, the mom or the caregiver that's coming back in is getting benefits. And you start looking at this and like, where do you even start to find these talented people? So like CEOs are trying to find the talent. And I was just thinking about I met with a CEO at an insurance company, huge global insurance company, and he needs to find people who are going to manage high net worth individuals within the insurance company. And he's looking for a certain type of person, somebody that is going to be able to take care of that relationship and nurture that relationship and be responsive and be responsible. And for me, I begin to think about, women are extremely talented when it comes to building relationships. And if you want to accelerate anything through there, give it to a busy person. And I don't know of a busier person than a parent. And if that parent knows that they got to pick up the kid at 2 and this needs to be done before 2,
done.
Yes.
Catherine, I see it all day, every day. You are so spot on. And I love what you brought up about the people skills or the interpersonal skills or the emotional intelligence. There is data that shows that women versus men, women outperform men 11 out of 12 of the emotional intelligence tests that were done. So this means naturally women are really good at relationships, at listening, at communication. And so yes, to your point, this would be a slam dunk opportunity to go to this untapped talent of, again, educated, experienced caregivers who maybe just don't want to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week.
Where are you placing? So as you bring these people in, these talented people, where do you see them? Because what was your placing rate? You've got
so of the women who come through our program, 70% of them get placed in 3 months. And so the vast majority who come to us are looking for operations roles. So this could be anything from an assistant all the way up to a fractional COO. We've seen it all. We have also seen a vast majority of our talent have some sort of background in finance or accounting, and they know it, they understand it, but they just cannot work the grueling hours.
Okay, so operational roles. I've got a few CEOs that listen to this. I got a few people that are at an executive level, and they can go and do the front end, meet and greets and things like that. And they need to be able to hand it off to somebody to be able to run with it. And that is that operational role of coordinating everything, making sure it runs. And then again, another operational role would be in that finance and accounting background. Now I'm going to bridge this even further. Some of these CEOs that I'm talking about, they're looking for strategic thought partners that are not just going 90 days down the road and what are we going to do? They need to see different variables And to be able to bring in somebody at, like, I use this example on another show, but we're not getting married. Like, we're going to date. Like, we're
100%.
getting somebody at 60% of their time. And if they can do forecasting because they have that numbers background and they understand the operational side of it, it creates a great opportunity to be able to kind of experiment with this. Do you have folks that are new to this and they're kind of experimenting and they're like, I don't know, Ashley, is this really going to work? What does that look like?
So that is one of the top things that we get asked from employers is, hey, can I date before I marry? Can I start off with 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 15, and grow? And what we see, and I know this isn't going to surprise you, but they start off with something small, and usually within 2 weeks, I get a phone call. How much time does Mary have? I want all of her time. She is a, direct quote, wizard. Please, like, how do I get more Marys? And so you're exactly right. But again, our whole thought process with Prowess Project is, A, we want to be super intentional with everyone's time and their capabilities, but also we want to de-risk. We understand what we're doing is different. We understand what we're doing is disrupting. So as much of the work style compatibility that we can get in our platform so that we can say, hey, Mr. CEO or Mrs. CEO, here are the top 3 candidates based, again, on the skills. Yes, they can, but they're also going to be compatible with your work style. Who do you want to interview?
All right, so we talked about butts in the seats earlier, and some of my folks, they might be like, well, I need a butt in the seat. I need an operational butt in the seat. And we've experimented with, during COVID, we've experimented with virtual and being in person. What are your thoughts around what if somebody has to have a butt in the seat?
My question would just be why? Like, really understand why. Is it because that's what you're used to? And that's fine. It's your role that you're hiring for. It's your company. You can decide. But really, why butts and seats? And I also, what I have seen, and we've been at Prowess for 4 years now, is the relationships that are remote. We actually see a lot more gets done and a lot less can I say shooting the shit?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm transparent with most things. So.
Okay. Do you want me to start over? Sorry, I was about to just say shooting the shit and I didn't know if I could say that.
Well, I don't do a lot of editing, so we're going with it.
Okay, well, that less of that and like chumming up and more of just getting stuff done.
Yeah.
By having that remote relationship.
I think that's fantastic. I think a lot of people, they just are ready to get the stuff done and they're ready to just get the result. And there's only so much time in the day and we can't do any more doing the same stuff day in and day out. And I just think that, this could be a pretty exciting way to be able to do that. What kind of backgrounds, or I guess, if they're coming back in, do you provide training to certain backgrounds that are out there to get them prepared, or what are you doing to support them?
Good question. So first, we thought all of the women who were coming to us to get jobs, we thought they were all going to be women returning to the workforce. What we're finding is some of them are what we're calling corporate dropouts who do want just something more flexible. And so I think a lot of time people get a little scared, like, oh my God, she's been out. Like, is she going to know, Microsoft Office? Yes, she's going to know Microsoft Office. But again, some of them don't have any gap. Some of them have 3-4 years. So to answer your question, what our certification goes through, our training to get back in or to be a Prowess certified, is we look at business and break it up into 4 main sections. One is all deep dive data. One is all automations technology. One is all just sales and marketing. And the other is more team dynamics and growth strategies. So those are the 4 main things that we are looking at, that we train and then test the women who go through our program on.
Okay, so do they go through a 90-day program to kind of just reboot and re-energize them?
Good question. It typically takes them about 6 weeks because they're not doing it 40 hours a week. And the program is 6 months. So they have access to us and the community of women who are also either returning or have all of this professional experience to troubleshoot, ask questions, share insights, etc.
Are these people just based in the US or the Southeast or the Northwest? Where are they based mainly out of?
Throughout the US.
Okay, so US based women who
Yes.
have multiple degrees, it sounds like.
Yeah.
They have been out of the workforce for 3 years and they're re-entering. You have a goal to get people back in. You've already gotten 1,000 people back in. You want to get up to 5,000
Yep.
in a very short time frame, which I think sounds doable. You're training them over a 6-week process of getting them back in, just that deep dive re-entry. You're teaching them about technology, sales and marketing, and then growth strategy. And you support them for up to 6 months during this transition back in.
Bingo.
Where do you find a Prowess certified person, or like how do you go about finding this if you're a CEO or an HR professional looking for them?
Oh, if you're looking, I mean, that would just be easy. Hop on to our website and go through our pretty simple process. We've had people hire within 3 hours. It's gone so quickly. But so that would be the first step, really, is to come talk to us.
So tell me, as you've started this, how did this even call out to you in the first place? I would love to hear kind of the background. I know we just like jumped right in just to get it done, which is kind of the way I operate, and it sounds like you too. But tell me, like, why are you doing this? Why does it matter?
So my background, I was in tech for 15 years and I looked up at all the leadership and they were all men. And I knew that I wanted to be a leader in a business. And I was like, oh dear, like, why is this? So I went out and talked to several women and they were like, look, I had to decide between a career and a family, and I chose family. And so I realized, like, oh gosh, I really do want both. And at the time I didn't have children. So hopped on to Google, and that's where I found all those Harvard Business Review statistics that I shared earlier about women leaving, and went out and talked to all of them, talked to almost 1,000 women who were in this situation of trying to return. And that's when they said over and over again, Ashley, I don't have a clear path from home to hired. I don't know how I'm going to go from getting my confidence back because I've been, tossed to the side, or can only get unpaid internships, even though I have 2 master's degrees. So again, we help with network, we help with training and matching them up with potential job opportunities.
That is fantastic. Tell me, as you look back on this, tell me, are there like maybe 2 or 3 just shocking things that you just continue to be surprised by? Or as you created this journey, was there anything that really just stood out? Like, why are we talking about this right now?
Well,
do you have
first,
a couple of those?
Yeah. First and foremost, it's 2023, and this is still an issue that women, you can have 2 different resumes. Both people were out for 3 years of the job force. One was out because they were taking care of kids. One was doing a sabbatical. The one with the sabbatical will get the interview 3 times more likely to get that interview than someone who is caregiving. Like, that just to me does not make sense when we also have all of this data on how much your brain changes and matures when you take on a caretaker role, which ultimately makes you more empathetic, which ultimately makes you a better leader. So the fact that that isn't talked about more is quite upsetting to me. So I'm really grateful for you for having me on this platform where I can share this message, because these are the CEOs and the executives who are in your audience. There is a treasure trove of untapped talent who would absolutely love to come work for you, as long as you respect their boundaries of, hey, I can't be 50, 60 hours a week.
All right. So if you've got somebody that's listening and it's somebody who's, traditionally done well in these corporate environments and they're struggling to find the hires, or it could be
Mhm.
HR struggling to find the hires, and they know the environment that they're in. It's very traditional, very much butts in the seats. Like, what is that first step, or what is that first thing for them to be able to really pivot and say, I don't know, maybe that it's scary. But what I've learned is the pain of same has to hurt more than that pain of change. And so are we just waiting for that pain inside the organization to get so bad they can't take it anymore? Or is there a way to just be able to test? And like I say, the big hard stuff, if we can break it down to small little steps and get success along the way and create momentum, it really opens up a lot of doors. So as somebody who's maybe in that key HR position and the executive position, they're struggling to really find it. They know that they're used to people being there. They're used to that's consistency, that traditional role that we've thought of. What's the way to take a chance or take a step that, wouldn't cause embarrassment because they tried something new or whatnot?
Sure. Well, I think multiple things. First and foremost, I love what you said about the pain. I think that is such a good point and great way of looking at it. I think what we're seeing in the hiring market period is people who are embracing remote have access to talent all over the place, and oftentimes less experienced talent. So I think that, less expensive talent, same experience, if not more. So I think that is something to consider. If all of your peers or all your competition, if you're looking for a way to stand out, if you're looking for a way to catapult your way forward, maybe consider something that doesn't feel super comfy, but is something that is forward thinking. So I would challenge that. Also, the reason why Prowess is happy to do a crawl, walk, run, meaning we start with 5 hours and we can move to 10, is for that exact reason. A lot of these companies are testing out remote for the first time. So start off with 5 hours a week, right? That's basically nothing, and see, okay, what does that process look like to hand off tasks and to get on what we call a daily huddle with someone every day to make sure that everything is on track. You have your to-dos, and boom, you're off the phone and everyone's good to go. So I definitely think easing into it is really, really important. Also, I think it is extremely important of the person who you are hiring to be your first remote employee has deep understanding and best practices of how to work remote, because he or she, the remote person, is going to be training and norming that for the rest of the entire business who they'll be working with. So it's up to them to really share that message and those best practices.
And I meant to ask this earlier, is this only for women? Do you only work with women, or are there men? Because we know there's men out there being the caregivers. So does that apply to men as well for your clients?
Absolutely. We started off with women because that was the biggest social issue. However, more than happy to have anyone.
Nice. Perfect. All right. Tell me how people can learn more about you. As people may have a little bit of curiosity and they may just kind of be wondering, I don't know, maybe my pain hurts that bad right now that I will try anything to just get better. So how do they learn about you, Ashley?
Yes. So first, just you can hop onto our website, prowessproject.com. If you want to chat with me, I am Ashley Connell. The best way to get a hold of me is on LinkedIn. And then we are at Prowess Project on all social channels.
This is fantastic, Ashley. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ashley Connell, you are the founder and CEO of Prowess Project, found on the web at prowessproject.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you like it, please subscribe, share this episode or this show with other people around you. The greatest form of a compliment is a referral. I really appreciate them. And if you think that you want to learn more about some of the work we're doing, I encourage you to reach out to catherinecantey.com. You can schedule a call or just continue to read articles and information that we post out there. Thank you so much for being here.